show of it's mainly of urban people, mainly homeless people. So I read mainly my homeless poems and other urban poems. So that's why I was invited to read. This is not the opening, but this was the day after the opening for the hardcore to come back and listen.
So how long have you been doing this poetry thing, you know? How many years?
Doing this poetry thing?
Yeah, writing poetry and all that.
Well, I think I started writing in the first grade, and I think I had my first poetry reading I put together at La Cave in '62, but I started mainly in my early 30s, the poems I read tonight, and and I'm 68 now.
Belle Pruitt met me, she said, "You've got the picture of Jesus in your face." But Jesus, the pictures I had in my head, the hoses, the dogs, moments of fire and grace. It happened once in Bethlehem, happened again in Birmingham. The innocent children dead. Sometimes a name hurts worse than a stone. Sometimes a bone breaks like a stick. Sometimes what happens alone. Suddenly life is cut to the quick. Oh, Willie Belle Pruitt, who buries your dead? Eyes untutored, hands unschooled, sleeping on the floor of your sister's shack. You rise from the shadows, past the lilies of the field, in the black night of sorrow, the sparrow on the wing, to go to mass meetings, to march in the streets, to sing. I beat you, I cry out, I bleed, for I'm bound to you just like a tree planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Your pain is my name too.
I met Daniel in 1985. I was about 18, a snot-nosed, arrogant brat, and he showed me how to get a GED and got me a job at the House of Fat Choi.
So I chose my poems tonight based on the photos. I know a couple years ago, Northeast Coalition for the Homeless put out a calendar, and they used my poems for each month. That was nice, with photographs from various artists, photographers. I don't know how many were involved. There are quite a few, though. And but all the poems, 12 of my poems. That was nice. So this reminds me of that situation. I don't know if any of my poems match any of these pictures, but
Again the dead of winter, whispering in tongues, the song of grief on the chill air. These bare black stick-figured trees, their wild gestures of prayer, stark against the pink of heaven. The day you died, I was in California in the Bay Area, walking about North Beach, wondering whether I was still on the path that led me here as a young man. I flew home, arriving in time to answer the phone, to learn you were breathless, that the breath had left your body, was in the treetops waiting like a bird for the light, for the first green leaf of spring, to be transformed once more and return as life in the lungs, in the blood, in the deep heart's core. Perhaps I myself might breathe you in and sing. Steve, you know it was on James Dean's birthday you died, and I imagine you two tooling around the city together down these gritty industrial streets through neighborhoods of hard lives, of ancient grandmothers, their soft voices still sounding young in kitchens of hot coffee, fresh bread, good soup. I can see you both cool in your shades, trailing cigar smoke, joking, swapping stories of Indiana and Tennessee, going into Mitzi's. You introduce Jimmy, order a white Russian, head for the green felt to rack 'em up, to break another heart. Dean calls you back, needs change for the jukebox, presses J8, UL2. You've each picked Stardust, it's on there twice. At that you both laugh. Glance out the window, utter something I can't quite catch. Grab Jimmy, someone unlocks the door. You step out, look up in the sky. Suddenly all the human sorrow you felt is remembered and forgiven in a Cleveland second in the beautiful falling snow.
But Daniel did something that a few people try to do, a few of us try to do, which is to really bridge, to really be an artist whose art was part of the struggle.
He's a very gentle poet, very creative. Gonna miss him.
But so I don't go around picking up for the homeless anymore. Plus, I don't have as much energy as I used to have. A couple years ago I got leukemia, and it's in remission now, but about every 2 weeks I get blood. But last time they said I didn't need it, but I've been walking, you know, I've been de-energized. Plus I think I've been disempowered, because my uncomfortable